page at the start of page 19, and session 47 is midway or 3/4 through page 36. And 47 is a new session.
Be out there, someone who keeps good notes. And hello and welcome everyone back to the Dumbass class with me, the Dyslexic Gamer, and my players as always. As we carry on our Rogue Trader game. It's been a while, so a quick reminder of what's happened in this section. So, our group of stranded individuals found themselves at their inbreaded camp, seeing a strange object flying through the sky at night. The way it moved suggested it had some sort of control over its fall, so they went and investigated. After investigating the Screaming Canyon, or Screaming Valleys, I think it is, they came across a number of very old, very fucked servitors. Servitors didn't react to them, so they let them be. After our new characters' little sidekicks were noticed and decided to flee, bringing a number of heretical, fucked up looking tech priest guys after them, combat ensued. Fortunately, the two little helpers managed to get away, as unfortunately, two of our player characters were lost in an explosion from the servitors going into self-destruct mode, and the canyon falling on another one. Fortunately, however, the amount of rock that fell down was more than enough to cause just a little hindrance to their pursuers. So they followed the little helpers back to where the object fell from the sky, and they found that there was a Tau ship out. They didn't know exactly it was a Tau ship until the Tau got out of it. But yes, a crashed ship in the valley side. They've had a quick brief meeting where, as far as my memory remembers, the Tau basically gave up salvaging rights to the Tau ship and vessel for companionship. And away off this rock.
I think there was a more mutual agreement than that, but yes.
So, I do believe one of the drones did get sent off to scout out what was happening, and it still looked as if it was pure rock. The heretics had not gained any ground in removing it, and then the drone came back, as far as I can remember. Cooney, what would you like to do? This is kind of your guys' show now, as to what you're going to...
I don't remember. Can I control the drones from my suit?
No. As far as I'm aware, you don't have a drone command tablet. What you do have is the controls inside of the craft that you were using before.
Okay. In that case, I'll tell everyone that.
Wait, no, hang on. You had the control tablet. It just was low on battery. So if you do want to use it, it was.
No, unfortunately, that's
effective
separate.
Usage.
Unfortunately, that's a separate piece of equipment that Cooney does
not
have. Yes.
Oh,
the drone control.
Yeah, like I said, it's been a while, but
it's also in the Tau book. You need to own and go through the Tau supplementary book. I believe you also need a career in order to use them proficiently, quote unquote.
Oh.
But anyway, I'll ask. I'll tell. Forget if I got the name for Trey. I think I did get the name of Heinrich.
Yes,
I
you
forgot
did.
the name of Cray.
You got
I did
Heinrich's
get the-
full name, I believe.
If I did get Cray's name, I would ask Cray to, if at all possible, since I know he's more technologically inclined. If he wants to, he can help me try to salvage a portion of the ship so I can get a transmitter, so I can control the drones through voice, maybe. And that's all I'll try to do.
Can I assist in any sort of manner?
I mean, yes, of course you can assist. You don't know this technology, so it's all very new. But you do have tools, from what I remember. So I imagine you always carry a field kit in your bag. Will they be the exact size for certain things? Yeah, I wish to the Omnisire. Bodges are a common thing. As for Cooney, you would know how to do some things. But currently, you haven't been able to gain access to the greater part of the crashed ship. Whilst you were in the cargo hangar, which was emptied because this ship was heading back to be refitted. You were in the cargo hangar, so that's the part of the ship that you've gained or allowed access through one of the drop doors at the back. And that's where you were able to get access to a couple of the scouting drones that were assigned to this area, or defensive drones. So basically, the TOW that's in charge of the protection of the rear can control 2 drones. It's not. Yeah, you haven't ventured massively into the ship, as when you tried to leave here, leave the cargo bay, you found that a lot of the corridors were twisted, cracked. It looks like the whole superstructure took a smashing, as it would do when it impacted, valley. So you did scout around some of the area to see what was in your surrounding area, to see what is in your which is essentially cargo bays for the most part. You were able to get your armor, and you were able to scavenge a few weapons, as far as my notes, which are somewhere, which I'm sure I'll find. Not exactly how many you found. But you also were kind of disturbed by the fact that, so so you don't know this, but when your ship went into the warp briefly, or sometime anyway, that's when you saw the images of the faces coming through the tortured towel faces coming through the cargo hold walls. Nasty shit happened throughout the ship, and you were kind of spared, for being such a small candle in such a vast darkness. Your comrades who were clumped together just were a little bit brighter than you were. So there's also a little bit of, you don't know how fucked up the inside of the ship actually is. So if you want to go into the ship, remember, because 40k ships are so vast, it is full on. You're going to have to dedicate like a day to going through the bowels of the ship.
I mean, I need to find a drone controller or makeshift one so I can have control of the drones. And I did tell Cray that I would be willing to allow him to learn from watching. So
I mean, I guess
Unless-
it's also not that hard to tell me how a controller would look like.
Probably not.
And I assume I'm smart enough to recognize something if it's described to me.
But the thing is, like I said, we would have to dedicate a day to basically, break through some of the twisted metal and shit like that to, have access to the other parts of the ship.
Yeah, but surely they must be in some lockers. Hopefully.
It's the hope.
But so what I
mean,
was trying to get across is that these two drones that that Cooney has been using are the two that are from the maintenance defense group. Sorry, not the maintenance, the door defense group. So there is a control thingy there, but it's not portable. It's built into the ramp that drops down where you'd have two vehicles going either side. They're probably, as far as Cooney is aware, more drones in the ship with actual control collars that you can pick up and walk away with. But getting to there from where you are currently, normally you could use the elevators, you could use the quicker routes. Whereas now, using the elevators is a wee bit dodgy. You could probably try. Going up the ladders and corridors, you don't know how many of them have cracked and changed and whatnot. And Cooney hasn't actually mentioned the weirdness, so you guys would be going into possible weirdness, not quite knowing. There's challenges, shall I say, with scavenging the Tau vessel. I wasn't going to make it easy for you.
How long was I here again? Was I here in the planet for how was it hours or days already? I don't
You've
remember.
essentially been on the planet for about 2 days. So today is your 3rd day.
During the time that I was here, did I see the faces again, or was it a one time during the walk?
No, so it was only a one time during the warp, but the faces were moving in the I know the Imperial word, it would be plasteel, but I don't know the Tau word for what they make their superstructures out of. We'll say plasteel for now for ease of use. Through the plasteel, but it was as if they were alive. They were moving around and throughout the as one face would disappear, another face would reappear. But then once you quote unquote popped back into real space, it stopped. Because you were back in real space, not connected to the warp. There's still that very, when you look down the dark hallways that have warped because of the impact, there's a feeling when you get, maybe 15 minutes away from your closest access point to take you into the corridors that would lead you into more of the bowels of the ship. Yeah, it's there's an ominous, goosebump feeling that comes across if Tau get goosebumps.
Would the rest of the group be willing to stay here for a day, or would Heinrich, for instance, prefer for us to get what we can and leave quickly?
I'm just looking at food at the moment. Food and water. I think we're okay for a while.
I'm more worried about the heretics coming through.
I'm a little worried about food and water at least, but this is a good defensible position at least somewhat. And also, if I remember correctly, the ramp gives us a slight high ground advantage because it is somewhat up in the air. Although again, I could be completely fucking not remembering correctly.
Well, problem is, We will be kind of trapped here, so they would only need to siege us out.
Well, we came from this way, and it's blocked off at the moment, isn't it?
What way?
That way is not
hang on.
blocked off completely. It's a pathway
No,
further down, but it was the only way they could come.
Okay.
So yeah, they have to clear that that landslide before coming from that direction.
So
for sure.
long as we can make use of the drones for defense, and we keep a watch and everything else, I think I'm okay with spending a day here, 2 at a push. But if we have to do a full out, if we're getting a full on assault, like within the next 12 hours or something like that, no, we're pulling out. I will be doing a scouting of the area at least before, or at least I ask Mothermouth and I'll go do it because I can't see, and I don't have a good history with rolls with Heinrich, to be quite honest with you.
Well, if Heinrich is okay with staying, and I don't even need to ask, Ray probably really wants to stay.
I mean, I
will-
would say.
Is there any passageway through this side? Or
I'm
maybe
sorry, what
this
side?
side that loops around?
What side?
The right side. There's a path on the top
Yeah,
right
you
of this canyon.
haven't
And
sent
one
your
out there.
drones. You haven't sent your drones down that way.
No, yeah, but what I'm asking is, because I mean the map kind of cuts off, so there is a path over there, just hasn't been explored, and one over here, correct?
Yes.
If so, I will tell the drones to either go to the upmost part, and if they encounter any resistance or any enemy contact, for them to return.
I would only say use one drone for scouting and one drone for base defense, because the drones have actual weapons, right? The drones have guns.
True.
And yes, they can use their hovering and height advantage, get a bird's eye view, and blah 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 blah. But that also eliminates the low tier view, a human height view of it. So a mixture of a drone and scout for scouting would probably be the best, at least from my perspective.
I mean, I just consider sending both of them at the same time, because that way the chances of losing them would be slightly lessened, in my thinking, because one drone can help the other one while peeling. But one drone, one scout doesn't also works for me. So if we could send, for instance, this drone and this drone along with Mothermouth, if Mothermouth is being volunteered.
Sorry, you want Muttermouth to go up or down?
Hold on, I think I have something for that. I do. There you go. That's up.
Okay then.
He says something to Thomas in Vettit.
I will go back to the ship, go to the control, and tell this drone to follow this life form, and in case it gets into combat or engages with an enemy threat, protect it and then retreat.
The drone takes in your command and goes about its business. Is that the one? That's not the one. That's the
I
one.
don't have control over the drone, so
Yeah, I'll do something with it in a moment. See if he gets that. And I guess he should also do that. Yeah, we'll give him that as well because he's being careful.
Oh boy.
His
Oh.
survival is at least good, so.
We got a natural 2, you know, on one, and 88 on the other. Corn is very pleased. He has a fate point, so he shall use it.
Oh, that's right. It'll refresh my fate points.
Oh, we got another 2, I think. No, 19. Nearly. Go forth, Muttermouth. Okay.
Ooh.
So what else would you like to do?
It was from what I can recall, the heretics and everything else will be coming from this direction. That's the
Indeed.
only way that we know of right now that they're going to come that way.
Yes, that is correct.
Right. So, oh hey, dark mode actually kind of works for this. While Cray and Kuni are trying to excavate the ship, or not excavate, but salvage from the ship, can I get myself and the 2 tribals to help move rocks to at least form some form of barrier over here? It'll help slow them down at least a bit. If not even just a slow it down, but at least Cooney, whatever the hell it is, Jim. God damn it! Stop being a weeb.
okay. I'll tell this drone to keep close to this one and protect the platform. And if Crate does follow me, I will tell him to be wary because I saw some strange things in the ship before the crash.
What strange things?
Faces on the wall.
Lovely. I assume by the way you phrased it, they weren't sculpted to be there.
No. Also, that I think that's a kukri.
Yeah, that's a kukri, not a kunai. It's a stupid ninja blade.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying what I think of when I hear Kuni.
You think of a kukri?
Yes?
Okay.
I never said that my thought patterns make sense. Most of the time they don't.
No.
The best plug.
Anyway, I'll go inside the ship with.
Okay.
Great.
Okay. So those who are going in the ship, I'm going to set up a little bit of a barrier with the tribals.
Heinrich,
Oh, thank you, Jess. I just noticed.
Give me a strength test. And a command roll.
I'm going to trial.
Where are the people of Izmir? Think it's these ones? I'm going to say it's these ones. I'm going to say you have blood skinners. Because why not? We'll try the blood skinners out.
Want me to do any tests or anything, or?
Yes, I'd like a strength test and a command roll. Or a
I'll do
command roll and a strength test.
Oh,
either
hang on.
way.
What? Okay, that was weird. I'll do command first. No bonus.
Not at the moment.
Oh, fuck. Okay. All right, that worked barely. And a strength test. Should I clear my rolls? No. I should have cleared my rolls. I will fate point that.
Oh, natural 8.
It's
me.
not as bad, I suppose, but
So, the inbreds and yourself are able to move a few of the rather heavy stones over and to make a somewhat of a barricade. Not great, but yeah, it'll do. So, as we go over to Cooney, Cray, oh sorry, where you wanted the other drone to come down here, didn't you?
Yeah, I wanted the other drone to be close to Heinrich and just, protect. Not in front, but,
Should really give the Bloodskinners some negatives. There's technology near them flying. They should be scared. We'll remember for next time. So yes, Cooney, Cray, and Thomas all enter the vessel. So basically, I'd like a strength test from Thomas and from Cray as you climb up the rope to get into the ship. Or you can use athletics or acrobatics, any skill. No.
Any bonuses?
No bonuses. You should probably have some negatives for the amount you weigh, but fine. Where is? Come along, Thomas. You do get a bonus, however, Thomas, because you are a fetid. So, right.
you should have just fate pointed this. Holy shit!
God damn!
The next roll was a 1, and then a 2. Holy
then
fuck!
Slanesh, then 21 and 20. Those rolls were not bad.
Oh,
This is why you never refresh. Never. If you want to re-roll, you can. If not, then you will be gaining 1 fatigue.
you gain 1 fatigue if you failed your strength test.
Yeah, because he's climbing up a rope.
Oh, okay.
But it's not like the ship's landed where the ramp is open and Cooney's gone through like a auxiliary hatch, or half the ramp has been lowered rather than the full. And she's quite high up in the air, well, was. So there's a rope ladder being chucked down, or an emergency access ladder.
I mean, if I see any of the two struggling, can I just basically give them a hand as they're getting up top to try and help them?
No. It's a rope ladder. That would only make things worse. Like, you could, don't get me wrong, you can help them over the end, when they're reaching up to the top. Sure.
Yeah,
but as for climbing down to help, no. That would only make things much, much worse.
No. I would not climb down to help them. I mean, when they're getting close to the top, just giving a hand at last few steps.
Yeah, sure, you can do
that. What?
I wouldn't be doing that. That makes no sense.
Oh, hey, let me give you a hand. Fucking climbs down and blocks their path.
Or you can give them a hand over the lip. But yeah, Cray, you've gained 1 fatigue, as the climb it's a lot higher up than what it looks from the ground. And with the swaying of the ladder and having to put more motion into keeping steady, you find you're having to concentrate a lot harder than you thought. Your muscles ache. The weakness of the flesh attacks you again.
The flesh is disgusting.
It is. So you make it inside the cargo hangar of the Woden or Warden. Warden. So little bit difficult to describe alien technology. It's alien to you, Cray. Everything is very, very alien and wrong and not normal to Imperial.
So, how does it look?
Don't fucking say alien. Don't say alien.
What color does it have? Is it blocky? Is it rectangular? Is it curvy?
Pretty sure it would be yellow and curvy.
It is clean to the respects of, it has been crashed, but it is clean, orderly. If the wires weren't coming out of the ceiling and cracked armor support structs, and the fact that it's impacted with terra firma. Yeah, everything is this strange off color that you're not quite used to compared to Imperial ships on the inside. Everything is just ever so slightly strange yet recognizable. It's as if they have taken the hallowed STC and defiled it. But it defiled it in ever so disgusting and subtle ways to make the mind think that it could almost be okay. But it's not okay. It's not.
What?
That looks like a door handle, but it's ever so slightly wrong. Something is slightly wrong about it. You think to yourself, yes, it is a door handle, it opens doors, but it's not an STC. It's Xenos. I don't know what to say to you, dude. It's a Tau vessel. Everything's
No, I found it pretty well.
However, Cooney, knowing this ship quite well, is able to lead you through quite a large, we're probably talking, I think it's like 2 football pitches in length for this cargo hangar. There'd be another one on the other side for the other. As far as I remember, these things carry 2 tanks, one on either side. So it's a big tank. So they're quite big vessels. Or is this the one that carries the smaller vessels that carries the... I can't. It's huge. As 40k terms are, it's gigantic. It takes you a while just to get to the door that leads you to the corridors that lead you to the rest of the ship. But Cooney assures you that there's nothing in the cargo hangars because you had emptied out all still functioning and battle-tested equipment to the rest of the ships in the group to resupply them, because there was no point taking additional equipment back with you. So it takes you about an hour, Cooney, to get to where you the furthest you have been into the ship so far. There are, so you, this again is hard to explain. So as you come onto the main corridor that would feed these areas, you can see that it has cracked, twisted, and snapped. So you can't use the main corridor, like the one of the ribs of the bridge, of the ship. So you have to go the long way round, which is doable. The Tau do have auxiliary routes into different areas, but it just means that everything takes a lot longer. And most of these areas were for housing the spare parts to the tanks, to the equipment that was taken off ship. So you can, as you walk by, Cray, you could knock and you could hear that these are all hollow container areas. And there's very little recreation or housing in this area. It's mainly just the spares or non-essential ship parts, let's say. So after you go through these corridors and winding paths, this is where, an hour's gone by as you've gone through. You get to the point where you didn't go any further. You got a bad feeling. as you look down into the darkness and flick on yeah, sure, why not? So as you flick on the lights, they don't come on, but an emergency light does flicker to life. Emergency lights. A number of them have gone out. It looks as if something fried the electrics, because the glass hasn't smashed, but you can see from the light of other lights that there's a blackened stain on the inside of the tau glow globes. Stab lights. The corridor leading down looks twisted, as if the whole corridor has spun round ever so slightly. It gives a disorientating illusion, but there doesn't seem to be anything quote unquote wrong in the warpy kind about it.
Okay. Just one thing. My black sun filter, was it damaged? And to what extent was it damaged?
So you were not in your armor, like your armor, when the accident occurred. You were in the hangar bay, specifically because you had annoyed someone because you had been left on the skeleton crew and you were running laps. So this is the armor that you had put aside, but it was put aside. No, hang on. Your armor would have been in your quarters, which would be in the quarters bay. This is some spare armor that you found within the lockers that you searched. As far as I can remember, I believe all your personal effects are still in your quarters, whereas you've got weapons that are ones you found in the lockers, the emergency like boarding action weapons. What was I looking for again? You asked me something that started me looking.
Black sun filter. I'm asking, does Cal Armor have black sun filter? But I think it's damaged.
I think it's an upgrade. I can't remember
Black
if
sun filter
that's.
isn't.
I can't remember if that's a standard thing that they come all equipped with. Like your personal armor may have it, but this is just a standard armor that you got out of.
So it doesn't have a black sun filter. I mean,
I don't believe it comes standard. I was sure it was an upgrade that was added to armors. So no.
okay. So I don't have any black sun filters currently on me.
As far as I can remember, Jim, they're an upgrade. I'll open the Tau book again and double check it, but
Sensors in the helmet allow for simple upgrades to be fitted like black sun filters.
yeah, simple upgrades to be fitted like black. So no, you don't have them. Because as I said, this isn't your...
No, that's okay. It's just that not having a black sun filter is a very big thing, especially for this. But okay. Okay, I'll continue guiding both Thomas and Cray. And if at any point they ask me stuff like, what is that? And it's basically a doll handle, I'll tell them what they're asking. What it is, basically. I'll just keep moving.
I'm sure Thomas should have something witty to say, but I just can't. Oh my God. He just goes along. Yeah, there's nothing. You know, if it was an Imperial ship in the bowels, I could imagine there'd be detritus around. There'd be some things here and there. But I'm guessing the Tau ships are a lot cleaner and more orderly than that. So yeah, the corridors will be kind of clean until you come across like bodies and barricades and, you know, wrongness. But so you head further down the corridors, past the point, further into the ship, past the further into the ship, past the point of your furthest alone ventures. So you've come through there. You've gone through the areas that house spare parts for the equipment. You come back onto the main corridor, which is like one of the, I said the ribs, it's probably, I should have said the spine of the ship, like one corridor that leads along a large chunk, wide enough for vehicles, yes, for small vehicles to be able to load a cargo into the ship, because this would also be the corridor that you'd load supplies into the rest of the ship. So as you come further down, you'd probably have two hangar bays, or not hangar bays, cargo bays, left and right of you, Cooney. But you'd know these ones would probably be filled with the basic rations or the food stuff of the ship, because you don't really want the important ship parts and the weapons and things to be too close to the nearest entrance of the ship. So I imagine this is your foodstuffs area. So unless you want to see if you can grab some grub, you push on a bit further.
I will stop and mention this to Cray and Thomas, that there might be food in this section, and should they wish to see if they can eat, we can salvage some of that food, we can stop here first and check.
We're pretty good for food. I think good weaponry would be more useful.
Very well.
So as you push on, again, the lighting in this area is emergency lighting only, and a lot of the bulbs have all gone. Some of them are in, like, some of them have these blackened smears. Others now have actually popped and exploded altogether. There's still just enough light to make out that the corridors are still clean. Yet again, the whole length of this spine corridor has warped in different areas. So as you're walking, it also gives you a very disorientating feeling. You get past the nutrients and sustenance area, and you find the main elevator shafts that take you up and down onto different floors. There are more cargo bays closer towards the front of the ship, but from what you can see, Cooney, and as your knowledge of the ship, if you go over to those doors, if you open them up, you'll see that the corridors throughout there are just cracked and crushed, and it looks, they may be 50 foot or 50 meters, and then it just looks like the ship has just been smushed in, or the corridor has just been smushed in, and it's just a wall of debris.
Okay. Is the way to the crew quarters in that direction?
No, that's towards the front of the ship.
I'll point that way and say we can't go that way, and I'll head towards the other way.
So as you come back, this is where you come to the main elevator shafts that go up and down, or go up. As you hit the button to activate the elevator, you'd hear a shunt of something trying to happen, and then a warning in Tau, or a message in Tau would play, an automated message that this elevator is out of service. Repair teams will be notified.
Is there an auxiliary way to go up and down? Maybe a ladder somewhere
Yes,
that goes
there is.
up and down the floors?
Yes, there is.
I'll lead Cray and Thomas through those.
It's through the elevator doors, as this is a vessel of war, and the enemies of the Tau do like boarding actions.
I'll do that. I'll ask for help of Cray and Thomas if whether the
Would you like
doors
to
can't
do
open?
an awareness check? You can have a plus
Sure.
20.
Can I also do one?
You can if
Why
Cooney
not?
fails. Wow. Cray, you see Cooney looking for something, so you can do a awareness check, but you have a minus 10.
Is there a whatchamacallit, one of those handles, the emergency handles to open the doors anywhere?
I mean, you kind of got there in the end. So as you hit the console button to open the elevator, and it plays the thing. You look around, and for a while you can't quite figure out what you're meant to do, and then you kind of slap yourself in the whole slit. As you know, face palming for a towel is a dangerous thing. As you go underneath the console and you find the access panel, you open that up, and it has the emergency release catch in there.
I'll use that to open the thing.
So the ship isn't actually on lockdown for battle at the moment. So the emergency release does work. I don't imagine the tower would allow that kind of thing to actually work when you're at war. So
I mean, might be needed for damage control.
Well, that's what I mean. If you're locking stuff down for damage control, do you really want some pleb opening up doors trying to escape when you kind of, as the commander, you've accepted their
yes, because maybe that pleb is a part of the damage control team, and your proper damage control team is all dead.
This is 40k, and it's a huge ship. There are multiple damage control teams. So
that's what the Japanese said when there is a carrier sank.
Yeah, this thing's bigger than that. So, man. So
I'm just being annoying.
So the door release does go, but it doesn't open very far. Before the weight of the doors prevents it from opening any further. There's a horrible as the elevator doors open, and almost as they open, it gives off like a tsh of pressure atmosphere, but then there's this horrible almost sucking that comes after, where you could feel a draft for just a moment, but then it stops. But the door only opens a few inches. You can get your fingers in, you can get a good grip, but it doesn't open much more. So can I get some strength rolls from everyone?
Okay.
Any bonuses?
This is nope. This is what fortune points are for, I guess. Did he roll better?
Guess I'll use one.
He rolled better than what he got. So Thomas heaves and pushes and heaves and pushes.
I shouldn't have re-rolled.
You all heave and push and heave and push. It takes you a while to get the door open. Actually, you still have one. To get the door open, but you do get it open enough eventually. As you go in, Cooney, there is a small platform, enough for you all to squeeze on and to be able to look around. There is also so it's not a platform, but it's more of a crawl space. Not so much a crawl space. So there's a ladder that goes up, but it's not just sat right next to the entrance going up. You need to crawl, shimmy. That's the best word. You need to shimmy along the wall ever so slightly, and then get up from there and climb up.
Cool. I'll start doing that.
Okay, so it should be.
I will make sure before I do anything to check where the elevator is. I mean, usually these things are secured in the way that if the elevator comes crashing down, the crawl space is large enough that it doesn't crush you to death.
It looks as if the
But
elevator
still.
might be at the top, at the bridge, or where the bridge floor is, at the very least. But sure, you get to the top of the, or you get, how many floors up do you want to go?
I don't know the layout, so you know the layout. My character would know the layout. Depends.
know
Is the
the
crew
lay-
quarters
you-
before the armory or not?
There's actually no plan for a Tau ship like this anywhere. So I know the blueprints. Open a prayer.
No.
Winging it.
What I mean is, as the GM, you can go like, first is the crew quarters, then the armory. If crew or armory, then crew quarters, stuff like that. Because my character would know,
Well,
but I don't.
I asked like how many floors do you want to go up? You could say I'd like to go to the crew quarters, and I could tell you what floor it's on.
Up to the crew quarters if it's before the armory.
No, I imagine it's the armory first. Because, well, you'd come to an armory, the major one first, because the troops would come down from the crew quarters to the armory, then from the armory they'd go to the vehicles. This is the logic I'm working under.
Sounds good.
So you go one floor up, which, again, you need to all give me another strength test. As you get to the doors and you hit the button, but it doesn't seem to open, and it plays the same message. Is Craig is Craig like not bothering this time? He's like, no, fuck you. The flesh is weak. Get moving, flesh bags. I've had enough.
Roll20 was having a fit.
Okay, so it seems as if you guys have made a better attempt this time, as it takes you a lot less time to locate the emergency release for the but they are kind of blast doors that have come round the entrance to the elevator's shaft. So you find a release and you're able to a lot easier get the door open enough to squeeze in. Again, when you open the door, this time there's an acrid smell in the air. It doesn't quite hiss the same as the shaft did, but there's definitely, you open it and there's a wrong kind of scent in the air. But again, much like the last floor, you come out of the main elevator shaft and you see the spine of the ship, the main corridor that runs down. A large chunk of it does seem to have cracked and fallen away. You're able to walk along a decent bit of it to where you see that was probably another training hall, like a live fire training hall. Because again, the hangar bay below you was 2 football fields long, at least. And there was 2 of them. So it seems as if when the ships collided, a chunk of the floor's fallen away. So you will have to go the long way again. As you're on your way to where Cooney remembers the armory being the long way round. Heinrich, it's been about, I think you have a chronometer on you. It's been about 2.5, 3 hours since they've left. You don't hear all that much coming down through the canyon. Maybe you hear just the faintest, like, ding, 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 of metal hitting stone. But it's very, very faint. And you really have to strain to listen. Sorry, to hear it. And Muttermouth and the drone have not returned yet.
Okay. Why stop pinging me?
Is there anything you would like to do?
I can't exactly talk to these 2 at the moment because, well, I need Muttermouth as a translator. At the moment, not really. I kind of want to do a little bit of a patrol, like walk around, look here, do a proper like perimeter sweep like this. I want to kind of check out this little area too. Not go too far away from the camp, but at least take a good look in this region.
Sure. So as you look around, most of it is kind of mundane. The valley walls aren't in the greatest of shape, as in you can see areas where rocks have fallen. But as you sweep around to where the warden's crash path is, the valley walls look far, far less secure. This one in particular, where it seems to have smashed into, looks particularly bad. But it also seems to have clipped some of the walls coming down this side of the valley, Heinrich. And as you are, you have the time to just wander about and stare. They look very cracked and you can see like rubble piles that have built up along the path as you venture in just a little bit just to poke your head round. It does not look secure at all.
Secure?
The valley sides. They look like they're cracked and ready for a rock fall.
Okay. I'll make note of that. Let me see. Can I use my javelin to kind of poke at a kind of weakened area close to me? Just a small region, a slightly smaller area, but to see how easily it kind of falls apart. Like taking it, prying it at it slightly.
Sure. It doesn't seem like you jab at one piece and it comes away quite brittly and easily, but you jab at another piece, it seems to be quite hard and well put together. But you jab at that piece for long enough, and you do see that the metal hitting the stone does put a crack through the stone. So although it does seem quite hard and quite dense, it does seem to be quite brittle at the same time.
Okay. All right. I don't think I have anything in the way of. Okay. I'll make mental note of that for now. And I'll carry on just looking around. After inspecting this little area for a little while, I will carry on up here, check out this rock pile, and then move over to where Mothermouth and all was. Just to take again another gander at their region.
Sure. And you want to roll me a 1d100 as well.
Sure.
So, marvelous. So, Cooney, as you you come round a number of areas, a number of storage containing areas, blah blah. You do stop with Cray and Thomas, and a few of these areas you're opening up the doors and having a look inside. This is the area where they would store weapons, armor, munitions, spare parts, things of that nature. Because you haven't come to the full armory section yet. But again, most of these have been emptied, or at least the ones that you're checking at the moment. You can give me a...
Jim just said he's on a phone call at the moment.
Oh, marvelous. Cray, can you give me a search test with a -10? And Muttermouth will attempt as well. Oh.
Ooh.
Muttermouth finds something. Sorry, Thomas finds something.
Yeah, that fatigue is really killing me. So, I'm not going to reroll that.
So Muttermouth finds, Thomas finds a couple of items, non-specific for the moment. Just picks them up and holds them for now. So you don't really find all that much in the spares and repairs section, the storage houses where you would pick up the items. So Cooney leads you further on in. As you get to the main area where the Tau, you could see there are multiple. I guess they would be smaller. Would they be smaller elevators? No, there'd probably be staircases that lead down to areas for quick access to the ships, or that lead you down through other areas. As you look down, you can see that these staircases have broken away in the ship's impact. But you come into these areas, you can see that there are lockers that would have housed individual suits of armor for the troops that had been brought on board for deployment. Cooney, this wouldn't be your stuff because your stuff is in your personal belongings because you are ship's crew. You start rummaging through lockers, opening up whatever you can. Can I get another search roll from all of you? But for Cray and for Muttermouth this time, there is a flat roll rather than a minus, because you're basically opening up storage lockers and just bringing whatever you can find forth. Well, my luck.
I really shouldn't have cleared that.
Yeah, Nuffle's kind of like you. This is what you get. This is what you get.
How could this happen to me? I made my mistake.
I tell you what, a very rare, whilst someone's on the phone, a very rare occasion where I'm going to say, Geddy and Albie, entertain the chat whilst I go and make water. I'll be right back.
Why is he making water? What is wrong with it?
I mean, should you really ask that as a British person?
What? What's that supposed to mean?
Well, aren't you all about that tea?
Fuck's sake. Oh boy. Okay. I shouldn't take this from the godless nation of Belgium, but okay.
I mean, we might be godless, but at least we have fries.
Sure. Although it got superseded by the French, so you cannot. That's a kind of
I mean, there is discussion who was first. Either way, all
no, but
fries are
yeah, no, but yeah,
superior.
no one calls them Belgian fries. People call them French fries.
Doesn't matter, ours are superior.
Yeah, but it's not as well known.
And the bond is more than half. 50% of Belgium is French anyway, so.
Albie, what did you do in the Congo again?
That was not me, that was the king. Why do you think I have such a hatred for royalty?
Yeah, good point. Jesus Christ, though. Oh.
No, really, that was a private property. And the moment it got too hot, he pawned it off on the state. Anyway, fun stuff.
Oh yeah, very.
How much is 1 plus 1?
32.
0.
What?
0.
0. 1 plus 1 equals 0. What?
Yes.
The fuck are you talking about?
Overflow.
Oh, fuck off, programmer.
See, there are 10 people in the world. Either they understand or they don't.
Fuck off. That one before, too.
Hope you've entertained the chat well.
Albie's being a nerd. We also talked about genocide, so we're probably demonetized. Again.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
we didn't say genocide exactly, but
And what's the quickest
I
way to
asked
get
Albie
yourself?
what he did with all those mercenaries in the Congo.
Ah,
well,
yeah, about right then.
there were going to be sent mercenaries, but well, why do you think those rebel groups exist?
Yeah.
Politicians with interest in mining concerns.
Oh boy.
And if it wasn't for the UN, the army would have sent volunteers.
Unquote volunteers.
Well,
Shanghai.
as far as I understood, they were actually volunteers because they would also get more money. But yeah.
Okay.
I volunteer if you pay me enough to volunteer. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, is that how it usually works?
Well, no. I mean,
kinda, yeah.
normally volunteering means you're doing it for free.
Not really. No, not always. To volunteer yourself to do something, it doesn't always mean, oh,
It used to.
I'm going to do this for free.
It used to.
Volunteer work does imply you're doing it for free, but volunteering is kind of like an act of, I'm going to put myself forward. But there's also the wider context of it, of like, is it being paid? Is there not? Yada yada yada.
You want to see a cute cat?
So,
Jim is back, by the way. Jim.
Sorry, I'm back.
Cooney, I need one search roll with a +10 and then one search roll with a +20.
I do not have search, so yay.
Yeah, I stand corrected.
Oh! Okay.
Hey.
I passed both.
So in the area where the spare parts or weapons would be housed, you find one. Yes, one pulse pistol magazine. Oh no, sorry, not magazine, power pack.
Sure.
As you go into the main. So your equipment isn't stored here, but those TOW that are being transported for on-world deployment, this is where they come to get their equipment. So this is their locker room, equipment storage hangar. I know there's a word for it, but I just can't remember. So you guys are all just going through the lockers, looking for whatever you can find. So there's a number of areas which are also for the quote-unquote requisitions officer for damaged or broken equipment. Most of the lockers you find are empty. More or less, you do find a couple of magazines for each weapon. You do find a couple of power packs for weapons. You don't actually find any weapons until you come to the quartermaster's office, basically, where there's his little... I'm going off of Imperial ship standards as well, because, again, it doesn't really explain this kind of shit to you in the TOW terms. There's basically the same little hatch that you'd see on an Imperial ship, where you put in your requisition form and it gets stamped and rejected or accepted, blah, blah. You look in there and most of the stuff, like the shelves, look empty, but you do see a few boxes here and there, and a number of items that have been scattered on the floor behind it. So you just need to get through the door. Can you give me a security roll? You try and open the door. One of you. If Cray does it, there is a -10 because it's a Xenos locking mechanism you've never seen before.
Is there a security role in this? There is. Can I use instead intelligence? Because I not only have technological insight, I also have master of technology.
No, because you're opening up a lock.
Okay.
Yeah, because that would bypass the skill going for an attribute.
Yeah, because I don't have security. But, you know.
Yeah, because again, I see this more as a lock and key kind of a mechanism rather than a technological marvel. So Albie, do you have security?
I will make an attempt.
So there is a -10 because it is unknown technology, but because it's a locking mechanism that will leave over time.
Can I argue for dick use?
Well, it's not technology. It's a strange key and lock mechanism. And tech use is more or less for technological things. So Crate, you attempt to...
Can I get out the drill after this failed attempt and try to drill the key out? I mean, to lock out.
Possibly. So as you attempt to pick the lock, it seems as if it's a strange TOW Xenos lock. It functions in the same way, but the way the mechanism is actually used is different. So it takes you a while to actually figure out how to do it. But you think you are close. with some more time and understanding, you think you can open the lock, or you can destroy the door. That is also an option. Or destroy, drill out the lock, blah blah.
When in doubt, violence.
So you did get tools, yes.
Is there no keypad or anything on the door itself that I could fiddle with it?
No, it's as I've stated, it's a key. It's a locking key. It's just a one of those odd shaped keys which makes the lock difficult to pick, and it's a big chunky door, so it will take a while for you to drill out the lock. But with you're basically, you spend about 45 minutes tinkering with the lock before you finally give up. But with what you've found from your tinkering, Cray, you do believe that drilling out the lock will open the door. You start drilling, unless anyone protests and tries to stop you.
Unless there is a security failsafe that I know of, that would mean that it's a bad idea to do that. If there is no such thing that I know of, I'll just tell him where to drill. Or we could always just go look for the crew quarters and find the quartermaster's room and get the key there, hopefully.
Are you stopping Cray from drilling the lock?
I'll mention that. And again, I don't know if there's a security failsafe that I would know of. We can always come back later too.
Are you stopping? Are you stopping him from doing his actions, or is he going
how
to just?
Long would it, with the knowledge that I know of how hard it is to bust open a door like that, how long would it take on average? Can I ascertain that through any rope?
How many locks have you watched being drilled before? It's not something most people have common knowledge on. How long it will take to drill out a lock? Like a tech person would do, like a mechanic would know, because they probably would have done it a few times. But again,
have I seen any tests of basically how much a steel door can withstand blast fire, for instance, as a soldier?
I mean, I imagine you've seen weapons hit doors, but again, this is a tool that's designed to drill through, so you can only take a stab in the dark, 2-3 hours, kind of. It's not
okay. I'll tell Cray for us to search the rest of the ship before we do this.
I mean, you've already been in the ship for best part of 4 hours already, just wandering about. It's a huge ship. It's gigantic. I wouldn't be able to put it on a map even if I wanted to.
Is there a name on the door? Just so as I know, basically, quartermaster, yada yada.
No, there's no like officer's name attached to the door. It's just it'd be something like I don't know, crew deployment deck for combat offensive actions, requisitions officer, 227 or 118, or I don't even know how many requisition officers there'd be on a tail ship. So you're barking up the wrong tree there.
Almost any Earthcast.
I don't imagine there's a name on it that tells you the officer who was running it.
Okay, I'll just tell trade for first, come back later, and go to the crew quarters first.
Pray, do you listen to the towel, or do you commence drilling?
Yeah, I listen for now.
Okay, so you turn about face, you leave this area, you go back through the winding corridors. Oh, actually, I didn't add on the winding corridors, did I? So that's probably at least another 45 minutes. There's probably 4 hours and 45 minutes that you've spent wandering through the hallways of this ship so far. You go back to the elevator shaft. You climb up another level of floors, or up another level. Can I get another strength test of everyone as you attempt to open the doors again?
Oh, wow.
Oh, and how is everyone doing for time as well?
Doing pretty fine.
Need to leave soonish.
Okay, so
I'm good for a little while longer.
as you attempt to prise the doors open, it is a little easier. Much like the last door, Cray only just failed, so fine. It's just about a success. As you're able to hit the lever and then open the doors again. But this time, as you open the door, there's a strange pop, a really high-pitched pop, and this acrid smell of... Cray, you're not entirely sure what it is. It's definitely a meaty kind of smell, and now that you think about it, it's kind of fishy as well. There's a kind of like when you burn seafood, kind of a stench that comes in. For Cooney, you smell the flesh of burning or burnt towel flesh.
Okay.
Does it also smell pretty sweet, or?
No, more
You got
acrid.
some of that
and-
motherfucking roast tuna.
No, more acrid and
First,
rank smelling. Like burnt shellfish. There's a smell in that. And as you hit the button for the lights to come on, only one light flickers. And as it flickers, you see blood streaking across the walls down the corridor. And that is where we'll end this episode. As you enter onto the floor that has the crew quarters on it, it does not seem as if good things happened up here with your former crew.
Okay.
Certainly hope everyone out there has enjoyed the first episode back, as the team have decided to split the party. It's a small party as it is, but they split the fucker multiple times. So we'll see how that goes for them as they try to salvage something from the Tau vessel. And hopefully we will see you in the future for more episodes as they come. So thank you all. Take care. And as always, bye-bye for now.
Bye.
See ya.